we're Dane, I'm going to need your help with this one because this is a topic revolving video games, but it's not about gaming itself. It's about gaming and mental health. So it says gaming does not appear harmful to mental health unless the gamer can't stop, which feels like a duh to me. Duh.
Yeah, I mean, eating food isn't harmful to the human body unless you can't stop.
Exactly. So,
but also, you don't die if you don't play video games, so I guess it's not a fair analogy.
So it says, societies may tremble when a hot new video game is released, but the hours spent playing popular video games do not appear to be damaging players' mental health, according to the largest ever survey done of nearly 40,000 gamers and their gaming habits, which was conducted over 6 weeks by a team of at the Oxford Internet Institute. So the first thing
that even exists.
I know. The first thing that I thought of here, so they interviewed 40,000 people, multi-platform.
Thank you.
And they said no causal link between gaming and bad mental health. Does that seem like something you would believe in, Dane? Like, do you buy that, or do you believe that that's too broad of a statement?
I think it's kind of too broad, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I do have examples of people that definitely did game a lot, and I think it helped them. And, you know, the first vets I met were when I was playing a MMO called Guild Wars. Mm-hmm. And I definitely could tell that they were coping through things, through games and the communities that they developed through the games. And the gamers in chat will tell you that, like, people that play MMOs, like, they play for hours and hours on end. So that's why I feel that the comment of, like, the gamers that can't stop is because, like, they feel that either, you know, if they stop playing, they're gonna, you know, they're not gonna be able to catch up with, like, the super players. And others is that they have, like, such an enormous sense of community with the people there that they feel like if they stop playing, that they're abandoning family.
So this is like, imagine like you're like you mentioned vets as in, you meant like can you explain that better? Like vets as in like combat
literally combat veterans.
Okay, yeah. So this would be the same thing as if a combat vet found a community outside at the gym or in a intramural league.
It's interesting that it's a community based around like a simulated version of something that they actually experienced.
Well, MMORPGs not necessarily like that, right?
Well, so MMORPGs are usually like fantastical worlds where you're like a wizard or warrior or something. And, you know, in my example, so the vet was kind of like, this is going to sound so nerdy, but just go with me, right? He was like the third ranking person in the guild. Mm-hmm. And so he led basically the guild wars that we would do a lot because he was very talented. And I think he could tell that a lot of us were like younger teenagers, and some were like considering the military, you know, as an option like after high school. And I wouldn't say he necessarily like detracted anyone from doing that, but he spoke from his experience in a way, in like a deep and honest way, where I could tell that he saw it almost as he was like all our older brother. Mm-hmm. He was trying to guide us through a path. And man, I'm getting chills just talking about it because, like, as you would imagine, he had a rough go of it.
Yeah.
And he did some things of which, you know, he regrets, and that essentially he was like passing it down on us. And he was very positive, and he was very like, you know, like he would always like reinforce that, like, hey, like, you know, if you're needing family, like this can be family. And like I just feel so bad because like so much in the culture today makes fun of men in particular, and everything is just like, and I don't want to sound like an MRA because like those people are lame, but like honestly, like a lot of guys, you know, they take everything from them. Like they're mocked, their hobbies are criticized, like
well, plus all their hobbies are then turned into like, you're not allowed to just have your hobby. Then you have to open that hobby up to everyone else, when that's never done the other way around. Nobody's calling for more inclusive makeup tutorial channels.
But that's like something that men are completely disinterested in.
But they're still not invading the other people's territory and saying that they should.
Men are disinterested in invading these, you know, typically female hobbies, but then they're interested in invading like women's sports. So I think it goes both ways.
They're invading women's sports through the lens of trans issues, right? Like that's I don't consider that to be the same thing as like talking about individual. It's like with the Boy Scouts, right? Remember Boy Scouts and then Girl Scouts. It's like somebody's like, why, like, what if girls want to do Boy Scouts? It's like, well,
go to Girl Scouts, dude.
Why don't you have a group for both, right? Like, and then do crossover events.
Well, they do, but that's not enough because they resent that there's even a distinction between boys and girls in the first place. But that's like getting way too in the weeds about this. I wanted to call back to that aspect that they feel they have to play, and I thought when I read that it was just a function of certain games that, like, if you don't return to it within a certain time frame, you lose progress, and you can't keep up. But the aspect of feeling like you have a community or a family there is something I didn't consider, and I don't know if I don't know if that like rubs me the right way, the feeling that you can have something resembling a family over a digital platform.
Maybe community is a better term than family.
Dude,
because you can't choose your family. As much as this culture wants you to believe that you can't.
Okay, well, they're not blood family, but like the familiar feeling of like, this is the person I rely on where like something goes wrong. Like, this is the person that I can tell my deepest, like, darkest secrets. Like, that was going on there. Yeah. And, for a long time, I would, like, kind of make fun of people that met their significant other through, like, MMOs. And now it's hilarious because everyone, like, or at least a lot of people are meeting their significant other on dating apps. And, like, in these games, at least like you talk to the person, even if it's virtual, like you go through like some version of adversity through them. And I know, and the 4 couples that I know, more couples, but the 4 couples that I was like the most intimately aware of, they're all still married today.
Yeah, it's interesting that going through, like, experiencing some simulated danger and coming out of it together might be like a bonding experience that mitigates the risks you would otherwise have meeting someone on the internet. I don't know.
It says it wasn't the quantity of gaming but the quality that counted. If they felt they had to play, they felt worse. That language also sounds very close to drugs to me, because I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like doing drugs is very much the same experience. Like, once you have to do more just to get the same feeling, you automatically feel worse because you know that you're doing that.
Is that a psychological or a chemical addiction?
Both. Chemically, the more you use of it, obviously your body gets used to it, right? And then you have to take more to feel the same effects, which has a negative.
I don't know enough about it, because psychological addiction implies that you have psychological responses, which are hormones and different chemicals. Anyways,
so but the part about saying that it was the quality of the game, and thank you. And they also point out that it didn't matter what type of game it was, like whether it was Animal Crossing or
they also said that there are over 1 billion people playing games today, and I don't know if that is entirely representative. Like, if you're counting mobile games, I don't count that. I don't count that because people who play mobile games don't consider themselves gamers.
Yeah. I love how we're so jaded that this happens now. We're just keep having the discussion. Like,
you have to. Well, no, like,
what are we gonna do? Sit here in silence with money shooting at us? That would be more awkward.
No, you dance.
You gyrate.
We if we could find we should license a song. What song, guys, should we license? If we could license a song to play during crisis parties, what song would we license?
We just need to ask Carter for ideas.
Or have Carter make a song and give it a cool name.
Yeah.
So the other thing I want to ask about this is he has a really funny phrase in here at the end when he talks about, he goes, in order to answer the questions that parents such as he want answered, Professor Przybylski says we need to collect a large representative samples. And basically the idea here is he talks about, like, the parents want the answers, gamers want the answers. Do parents actually want the answers?
They don't.
Or do parents just want to? They just want to throw their kids down in front of a tablet or a video game system and know the kid's not going to get hit by a car.
I think a lot of people also like have business interests in studies coming, like, giving outcomes that pacify worried parents, or just, it's a product, so you want the people selling the product want it to seem harmless regardless. There are huge corporate business interests involved, where it's almost comparable to like the FDA being influenced by like industrial farming, where the studies done on the health implications for like different like meat or dairy products or something,
or when sugar gave
the outcomes are manipulated, or like sugar or fat, whatever is studied about nutrition is highly influenced by corporations that want to sell these products. It's the same situation here, and I don't think that we should rely on, honestly, like this is a contrarian take, like full stop, but we shouldn't rely on academic studies to tell us how to live our lives.
I agree.
You base it on your personal experience and the personal experiences of the people you know, and that's it, because they're gonna lie.
The part that rang the most untrue to me was the part at the end where he says, players want to know what impact gaming has. Scientists want to know. Parents want to know. No, gamers probably don't care. Right. Scientists want the funding, and parents just want their kids to shut up for 5 minutes.
No one is invested in the truth of this matter.
It's a grift.
I want to say two things. Number one is that every day, I realize that the truest thing that Tim has ever said is that parents do not care about their kids. Like every day. And like they'll leave their child anywhere as long as they don't have to deal with them. And the second is like taking off like my shit poster hat for like a second, because I know there's like a lot of gamers here. It's like, listen, I've also made friends in games, and like from card games, like physically, and like video games, that I keep talking to people that I've only met digitally, and like some of the most interesting conversations that I've ever had have been with people I've never like laid eyes on. But you like, this is gonna sound ridiculous to like not normies, but like people that are everyday people. Your body needs activity, your body needs sunlight, and who is to say that you can't meet these people in person, guys? You know, like if you're talking to them over web chat, like they're here. You know, there's maybe they're across the world, and it becomes difficult, but like there is someone like you near you, and like you should try to do the best to like reach out and form like a real life community with them, as not as soon as possible, but like try to get yourself to the level of comfort, like to where you can, because like I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna pay off in spades.
There used to be a lot of like TV shows that would do episodes about school shootings, and they would always tie into like the person who did it would always be some type of gamer that nobody understood. Yeah, and that I always laughed at how tone deaf and not realistic that was, given how many people actually play games. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.